So I need to mess with one or two more things. Hang tight just a second. I realize that this method won't work. Come on. That should work. No. Losai. Alright, hang on. I'm going to try this again. Hey! That worked a lot better. Alright, cool. So, let's go ahead and let's do the transition. And oh my god, the lighting is so much better. Hello everyone. Let me get rid of a few windows here. I'm like, it's one of these moments where I sit here and go like, God, I need more windows. Not physical windows. I need more like computer screens so I can have more windows to navigate stuff. But assuming I posted everywhere, from the looks of it, I have. Yes. Yes. Looks like everything is set. So I've got Wolf Dragon, I got Sea Bear in here, and I'm going to double check and see what the participants is, and looks like that's all that I've got right now. So hello everyone that is here. I'm going to try my best to work through this because my I've got 3 lights right there, and then I got my window here, so I've got the window in this eye, I've got the lights in this eye, so I'm like half blind, but we're going to try to make this work as best as possible. So with that said, let's go ahead and let's jump into this. So this oversharing hour, this was something new-ish I wanted to try. So I know that this is something that I do in a lot of my Fursuit Friday streams, where I like to interact with you individuals, and that is something that I wanted to continue to do. And I forgot that I actually had this game. Let me swap screens here real quick. Yeah. Cool. That should do it. And we do one thing right quick. Just gonna shift those up there, and we are gravy. So let's go ahead and we'll switch over the camera. We'll do the magic. Woo! Woo! And we're back. So this game is called Truth or Drink. It's intended to be for like the 21 and over party realm sort of stuff. So, you know, you get asked a question. If you answer it, you're good. But if you don't answer it, you have to take a drink. We're doing this in the safe for work form because I want to be able to have these conversations with you guys. I might do some not safe for work sort of streams in the future, to be determined. But with that said, I actually worked on an entire Excel like macro per se, where all I have to do is hit F9, and it goes ahead and it gives me, you know, a new page, column, and row to go ahead and refer to in terms of going ahead and finding a question. So what we will do is I will roll one of these, I will look at what the question is, I will answer it, and from there we'll go ahead and I'll answer that question. If you guys have input on it or have further story discussions, we can by all means do that. Real quick, let me do one thing. We do this. And we will put you right there. That'll work for the time being. And let's go ahead and let's bring me back into the picture. And I'm back. So, and before anyone asks, this is one of 3 Gatorade bottle mixes that I've got. It's watered down a bit because I'm trying to make it last longer. It's the powder stuff. Normally they ask for 4 scoops for 1 gallon, which is way too damn strong. So instead I go ahead and I do 3 scoops to 1 gallon, and it's perfectly fine. So I've got 1 there, I've got another here, and I got another here. So instead of alcohol, if it's going to be something that I don't want to answer for whatever reason, I will hydrate. So it's going to be like hydrate, truth or hydrate. So, well, I should hydrate anyway, but you get the idea. That's what we're going to be trying here. So, yep, let's do that. That'll work. Cool. So, if there's any questions that we got that you guys want to ask me, in the description down below, there is links to my Curious Cat Twitter and why am I blanking out? Or just the YouTube chat in general. If you guys have questions that you want to ask me, dump it in there, and between questions, I'll take a look at that stuff and I'll answer your guys' questions. Sea Bear, thank you for stopping in. I greatly appreciate it. So, I see I've got 4 viewers in here. Thank you to all 4 of you that are in here. And let us hop into this. So, on here, I'm just going to hit... Oh, I could actually scoot forward. I wanted to make sure I was far enough away from the camera that you guys could see all of me. Actually, what we'll do... Scooch it down a smidge. Yeah, that works. Cool. So, let's go ahead and hop into our first one, which is page 4, row 2, column 1. So that is 2, 3, So I ignore the first like 3 pages because it's just like, oh, like, what's all this? We're just doing on the rocks questions here, which is just chill questions for mixed company with just enough of bite to help you loosen up together. So that's what we're going to be going ahead and doing. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at this first one. It was page 4, right here, row 2, column 1. I actually looked at this one before starting the stream. I was like, this would be a fun one if I ever got, and of course, it's the first one. What's something you've done to try and be cool? Oh, the stupid things that I did when I was a kid. So, one of the things that I used to do, I wouldn't say that it was cool. I think it was like one of those things that, like, by proxy, by doing it, I was cool. I used to do parkour back in the day, you know, like, oh, hardcore parkour. But that's what I used to do. I wish I could still do it, but my joints kind of got messed up in the process, so I can't do it as much anymore. However, I do still enjoy doing it, and with that said, I still have actually like some of like the photos and stuff that I used to do. There was one time that we were just going around a park, you know, like we were practicing flips off of some stuff, and you got really good at it. And I can't remember if I told the story before, but I did break a collarbone once because I used to do, oh God, I did years and years of soccer, so my legs were really good, and I just like vaulted off of a bench once, and I had enough height that I was happy with the height that I got, but the lizard part of my brain was, oh no, you're too high. So when I hit the ground, you're supposed to tuck and roll. Well, I did the tuck and I did the roll, but I didn't do it properly, and my shoulder met ground. Ground is tougher than my bones, and my collarbone kind of did like a little bit of fracture. That was like right on my birthday. That was a terrible year. But that was kind of one thing I did. Something that I think actually labeled me more in terms of like the cool category. High school. I think it was during like homecoming week or something like that. The different classes, you know, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. I was in sophomore year, and you know they did like a bunch of stuff like the potato sack races, you know, like 3-legged races, you know, like the person with the most points or whatever was like bragging rights or whatever, that type of thing. So what we ended up doing, they had like 3 or 4 people, and normally it's a popularity contest of like, okay, who's, you know, we need to pick out people from the bleachers. Oh, we'll pick this guy because I know he's a jock. We'll pick this guy because he knows he's a jock. And they weren't picking anyone else, so I was just like, screw it. I stood up, rose my hand, I'm just like, screw it, I'll do it. And I could feel the tension from everyone around me. They're just like, who is this kid? You know, I've been there, I've been to the same high school. It's not like I was just a transfer student or whatever, but I was known for kind of being like the gamer group. But I was athletic still. I enjoyed playing games. So what I did was, it was the potato sack race that we ended up doing, and because of my legs being so strong, I actually went ahead and I like did like the whole lap by faster than everyone else. So you're supposed to go like there and back, so it was like a relay race type of thing. So I went there and back. By the time that I was back to, you know, like finishing my lap, the next closest group was like they had just like turned around. They were about quarter of the way through. And I remember like the next week or so after that, like I was actually getting like compliments from random people in the hallways, just going like, nice job there. I'm like, is this what it's like? Like, I don't know. Is this what it's like to be popular or cool? Like, I don't know. I have no idea whatsoever. But that was one thing that I ended up doing there. Trying to think of other stuff that I did more recently. Kind of cool. So when I was in college, I actually had way too much free time. I went around in a rubber horse head mask, and I would do that in a suit, and that was my thing. I had way too much time, so between classes where everyone was out and they were walking around to go to the next class, I didn't have anything going on. So I went out in the horse head and the suit, and I would go ahead and I would, you know, just entertain others. Just by walking around, I would get heads to turn. They'd look up from their phone. They'd snap pictures. And it was kind of like the early version of Sigma, where it's like, I'm going out there making people smile and entertaining. That's the point. I'm just taking a look at all my stuff here, making sure I'm not missing any comments or nothing. And I still see that I got 4 reviews in there. Hello, everyone. You have not missed a whole ton. And we're actually going to be going to the next card. Page 3, row 1, column 3. Page 3? Did I botch that? Yeah. Oh, wait, no. Oh, I should have gone ahead and fixed that. Okay, that's actually not correct. We'll do this. Page 5, row 2, column 1. Page 5, row 2, column 1. How will we write for each other romantically? Well, yeah, so to clarify, this is actually supposed to be a dating card game, so if it doesn't exactly apply, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go to the next one, because there's 2 on each one. What was your most embarrassing moment that transpired in public? Let's all relive it. Was there an embarrassing moment? I'm like having to like dig up like all these old... Hi, Zeke! I'm having to go up and like dig up all these like old memories that like I forgot. Embarrassing moments. Man, I'm still trying. I'm thinking like, okay, like elementary school. No. Not entirely. Well, okay, so in elementary school, 2nd grade, like we did like a class like play or whatever, and I vaguely remember like when I was like trying to like reason or like do my audition of what I was of like I should be this character. It was like a horse, a snake, a toad, and some other one, because you're in 2nd grade, we're gonna use animals. And I was just like, oh, like I could be the snake. And I vaguely remember like it was like a Transformers film or something. Like the opening credits is just like it goes from like an undershot of a snake like going up, and it shows like the snake and like slithering on the ground. I'm just like, oh, I could just imitate that. And I actually like inched my ass like on my belly around the floor in the classroom. And looking back on it, like even I think back then, like shortly after doing that, I was like, oh my god, what was I doing? But that definitely was one embarrassing moment that transpired in public via the classroom. Now, more public than that, like in public, I'm like, not really. There's not. Up until recently, I was way too reserved as an individual, where it's like, yeah, no, you wouldn't catch me, dead in public doing something embarrassing. I was way too cognizant of that, but that's really like the one thing that kind of jumps out to me as stuff that I did. I keep going back and forth between like, is there any other comments in here? I saw that Zeke was in there, and I'm going to double check my participants. I see that Zeke is in there, and if there's other concurrent viewers, they're not showing up in there, so they might be non-signed in. So thank you all so much for joining, whoever you are out there. So we're going to go and hop into this next one. That was 521. Yes. So, there we go. No, dang it, it swapped again. Oh well, we'll make it work. I'm going to do that because I recognize what that song was. Yeah, this one. I remember this one. This is the one that I used for a lot of my openings. So page 4, row 2, column 2. Am I getting that right? Yes. 4, 2, 2. So for those of you who don't know, this game is called Truth or Drink. If you're just tuning in, you can actually buy an online version, or they do have a physical version that you can get. This game is ideally meant to be like with friends, or if you're out dating or something like that. It's a good like icebreaker type of game, but this on the rocks section of the game is very typically safe for work, not really focusing on the dating aspects of it. So I figured, let's go ahead and let's do this. Let's do this with the community. So we're at 522. Describe the first time we met. What was your honest first impression of me? You know what? I am going to take that one. I'm going to say chat. I want you guys to answer that question in here. In the comments or in the chat, I will go ahead and I will check those over post stream, and I'll keep checking it in the future, because I'm very interested to see this one. But however, the second question, what is the worst thing you've ever had to do at work or school? How did you handle it? So I should be able to answer both of those. So let's start with school. Worst thing I've ever had to do. Okay, school. I know what I could do on this one. It's safe for work-ish. Like, no images. It's not graphic content per se. Not that I can think of, but this could just be my personal sensitivity to it. The situation was I was in college. I was a resident assistant, so I was like the hall monitor that would go around. Like do security checks, uphold the policies or whatever. I tried to follow the rules to an extent, but I wasn't trying to be like super stringent. But there was one night that I was particularly, like on shift. Everything was going fine. Everything was quiet. And I'm sitting behind the main desk, which normally the RAs are supposed to do. Like, it's a central location that the RAs can be found during shifts so that anyone can find them and talk to them and be a resource. And I'm chilling there by the desk, and it's like 9 at night or something like that, 9 or 10 at night. And I see like, a group of people, like kind of go dash out the door. I'm like, okay, like whatever. Go back to doing my thing. I see another two dash out the door from the other side. And I see another one, then I see another one, and I see another one start going that way, and I go, wait, you, what's going on? And they go, there was someone hit outside the building. And someone else came right behind them. It was like, yeah, it was a hit and run. Immediately I jumped into action. I hopped the desk. There's like a little like latch door that you could get. I ignored that completely. I hopped the desk. I turned back to my fellow RA and I said, you contact 911. I don't care how many people are out there that might be on their phones. I can't trust them. I need to make sure I have a known secure line to the EMS services so that I know that someone's coming here. Cool. They went ahead and did their thing. I rushed out the door. The person that was the hit and run was like literally on the street just outside the building. And in that moment, like, I guess like all like emotional like aspects of my conscience just shut down because I knew that this person could not be touched. There couldn't be anyone else near him because I needed to make sure EMS could get there, ambulances, police, everything. So I just started doing crowd control, and I think the closest that I got to that individual was probably within like 5 feet. And there was blood pooling, to be completely honest and blunt about it. But in that moment, like, all that stuff just went away, and the individual was fine. He ended up surviving. Honestly, I think it was a minor fracture, some cuts, and honestly that was it. I think like 1 or 2 broken bones. Because he was intoxicated, his body was loose. So when you're sober, when you get hit by a car, your body tightens up, and that's usually what causes more damage. So because he was loose and like his body was like more fluid, if you will, in movement, he kind of came out unscathed, which is lucky. But that probably was the worst thing that I ever had to handle at school. School/work, because it was a job that I was doing out there. In terms of actual work that I did, worst thing I ever had to do. I'm trying to think. Because of all the jobs that I've had in the past, I used to work at like a Salvation Army type of store, donation center sort of thing. I used to work at one of those locations. I worked at a auto retail store. I also worked at 2 different automotive shops. I also worked at the RA for my college. And then I had the first job that I had just out of college at a call center. Never again. And then I had the job that I just recently had. And going through all those, there was stuff that I had to do, but nothing that really like jumps out at me as like something horrible that I had to do because of policy or anything like that. Nothing that really jumps out in that capacity. So that's honestly the best thing that I could like do to explain that, or otherwise answer that question. Oh, and I got an answer here from Sasha to the prompt that I actually had here in the on this question here, which I'm actually leaving to the chat to answer because I think that would be a fun one to hear your guys' story on how you met me. Sasha here says, first met you at Motor City FurCon 2019 upon the game room. You played Sura with you and my girlfriend. Thought you were pretty cool. Later on that day, came to your show and actually helped you into your suit. Oh! You're one of those people. Oh my god, hi! Wow! Fascinating to see this come full circle. Sura has actually still been on my mind because that game was really, really fun. But I'm happy to hear that not only did you go to the show, but helping me into the suit at that time. First off, thank you for doing that. Just because in that moment there's so many things going through my head, like I can't put like faces at different points in time. But oh my god, that's wild. Thank you so much for now being a part of my YouTube career, I guess, if you want to call it. Oh, this journey, the community that's building up here. Wow, that's fascinating. Oh man, yeah. If anyone else wants to chime in the chat here, or otherwise leave a comment below if you're seeing this video after it's been live streamed. I would love to see these things. That's so cool. Thank you so much for sharing that. Oh my god. And actually, with that, if anyone else wants to share that story, go ahead. But I want to go on to the next card here. So, nope. What do you mean go to? I said not F9. There we go. Page 522. Oh man, what's the worst state you've ever been on? Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright. This actually happened, I think it was last year or something like that. So, someone that I met, I can't remember if I divulged that I was a furry or not. Either way, ended up talking via text. I think we met on like some dating app. Went well. Started exchange numbers. Things still seem to be going good. Went out for dinner. Started exchanging more conversation. Things were going fine. Scheduled a follow-up, like get together, meet. We both liked the Game of Thrones, so we went to go watch Game of Thrones. And while we were there, I cleared it with her, just be like, hey, like, you mind if I lay my head on your lap as I lay down? Because things were, pretty close at that point after several dates, and we were comfortable with each other. Like, yeah, sure. And as I was going ahead, we were watching it. You could not mistake it. And this killed it immediately for me. Is as I was laid my head down, she just ripped one. Straight up, like, farted into the side of my face. Can't. No. That immediately killed it. Like, it went on for about another hour. And I was just like, sorry, this isn't going to work out. Absolutely terrible. Oh my god. It's one of those things that I understand that everyone has to do, but like, if you've been together for a long time, yeah, it's gonna happen. But at that point, those barriers have dropped because you guys know each other for so long. This was like the 4th date or something like that. No. Hi, Luna. Luna says, "Sup, you oversized plush dog-like thing." Hey, no you. Because I know in a lot of furry stuff, foxes, because of skeletal structure, I think they're still associated as being as part of the canine, like, branch family. So it still technically works. No you. And Luna, since, granted oh no! Mike is maxing out. Thank you for telling me. I shall drop it. This is why I like you guys. Alright, you know what? I'm going to answer this too. So still doing the page 5, row 2, column 2 thing. I'm answering question B on, or I'm going to try to answer question B on this one. It should be quick. Have you ever done something you're not proud of for money? No. Honestly, no. Even amongst, like, all the side gigs that I've done. Oh, man. I don't know if I would say that I'm proud of it, but it was a thing that I did, and I got paid to an extent. Like I was given like some money for this or whatever. So someone that I knew back in high school was, they were doing like semi-professional photos, and they were like, you know, like selling them to individuals, you know, like they were running a website or whatever. Fine. But I guess it was athletic themed, so they were using me as the subject to like to be in these like shots. And all it was just like lower body. It was just like the shoes, the socks, you know, like on a soccer ball type of stuff. It's one of those things where it's like, it happened. I'm not particularly like proud of it, but I'm not like upset about it. It was just like, that was a thing. But yeah, I got like, I think it was like $20 a session or something like that. When you're in high school, this was 2008, or I think it was 20 or might have been somewhere between like 20 and 80. But when you're in high school, $20, $80 is just like, yeah, like that's a good chunk of money. It's like nowadays, it's like, no, like that gets me like a week's worth of food, maybe. And let's do another one. So for any of you that are just joining into the chat here, or into this, again, this game is called Truth or Drink. The game itself is, you can purchase it. Who was it done by? Let me take a look. Honestly, you could probably just Google it too. Made by Cut. Right up here at the top. I want to say it was like maybe like $15 or something like that. Got a digital copy of it. You could then print it out, make your own, but I just went ahead and made this Excel spreadsheet to randomize where it is in the game that I'm doing, and I'm specifically doing on the rocks because they're usually safe-ish for work. So then, and I have a rough, like, this is how the game works up here if you're doing it online with someone. So that, we just did that, 522, we're going to hit F9, which is the macro for resetting. We're doing page 9. We're getting deeper into there. Page 9, row 1, column 2. Describe a time when you really disappointed someone. Did you ever earn back their trust? Hi, Anna! Thank you for joining. So, in regards to that question, you find my mouse, I need to adjust one thing tiny. There we go. Describe a time you really disappointed someone. Did you ever earn back their trust? Disappoint someone? Not that I'm aware of. However, the... Dang it, Luna! I disappoint. Pick me. I got this. But yeah, I'm re-rolling this, and then I'm answering the questions. But if it doesn't exactly fit, because this is meant to be for dating, you could go ahead and I'll possibly pass it to you, or I'll just pass it in general, because there's no way I can answer. It's just like, you know, what makes you think we're good together? I'm like, there's no one that I'm in front of that would this apply to, or that I'm dating. So I go to the next one that's on that card. But in terms of disappointing someone, I might have mentioned this in the past. So it's not someone that I've disappointed, but definitely for like a 10-year time span. I think it was like from 2005-ish to like last year or something like that. My mom and I had been on super rough terms. Super rough terms. And with that, only until like last year did she start to like earn my trust or like respect back, because there was a lot of stuff that happened during that time frame that was really rough on, you know, me and the family. And my mom and I actually discussed this about a month ago. And was it a month ago? No, maybe even a few weeks ago. And since we're starting to patch that stuff up, and we're actually getting on better terms now, where during that time, I don't know what was going on with me during that time. Like, I kind of know, but now since I've gotten more professional help, I'm doing better myself. You know, I look back and go like, it's justified for what happened, but I also I kind of feel bad on what I did, because my mom in particular, constantly said I love you so much that it lost the meaning to me as their child. And my mom kind of like trained herself over the years to not say that to me because she knew that it meant nothing to me because it was used so much. And I think the last time that we talked, we were on a 3-hour conversation, and she had to end the phone call because it was 1:30 in the morning where I was at and 12:30 in the morning where she was at. And we were talking, you know, we ended the conversation. We really got to know each other better, and I was able to give her insight and vice versa. And at the end of the conversation, I was like, you can say it. She said, you know, I love you. And then I responded with, you know, I love you back, which is the first time that I told her that in like 10 plus years. And we ended the conversation on that. She was obviously starting to cry. But we've been on good terms, you know, for a little bit now, and that's still healing and repairing. So it doesn't fully, per se, it doesn't fully answer the question of, did you ever earn back their trust? I think it kind of answers the question, or I'm like spinning it so that I can answer it to some degree, of something that was broken or lost between a relationship with someone and repairing that. So that was something that, it was a huge step for me, and also a huge step for my mom, and also like repairing that relationship. That was really nice, and I'm glad that my mom and I, after all this time, have started to repair those old emotional wounds. Not so much on the sappy stuff. Let's go ahead and move on. We're going to do my F9 macro, and that is page 3, row 1, column 3. Is page 3 one that I wanted to omit from there? Yeah. Let me go. Let me fix that. So then, yep, there we go. We'll do 521. Page 5, row 2, 1. Yeah, like this one. How are we right for each other romantically? There's no one that's in front of me that would apply to this like in a dating scenario, because that's a dating scenario question. Oh wait, no, we did this one. Was the embarrassing moment that transpired in public. We did that one. Next question. Whoops. Let's get on the right one. 423. Page 4, column 2, question 3. If I didn't have my current job, what do you see me doing? That's the answer, because I don't have a job right now. I am unemployed because, yay, pandemic. I like that job. I'm trying to keep an eye on the job board, and hopefully that a position opens up so I could take it. But otherwise, as of right now, to make sure I'm staying on top of bills, I have to ride this unemployment. Because that's what's keeping me on top of my bills. Oh no. I'm skipping that one. We're gonna move on. I don't doubt that people in the chat are gonna answer that question for me. I will say, if I were to answer this one for myself, something that I do that I think people hate, I say a lot. I think the other thing that I do that people hate is, I think more in like a work setting, I'm too bubbly / carefree for the corporate world, I think. Because as much as I've gone ahead and like tried to, I can be professional. That's not the hard part. It's that if I'm professional all the time, and I think it's the truth in almost every workplace scenario, if you're too professional too much, you know, it slowly eats at you. So that's why I kind of like do like some of the stupid things and like posting like memes and shit like that in my cube. Like, yeah, like it's harmless. It's not hurting anyone, but it gets me a chuckle, and that's what's helping me, and maybe it gives someone else a chuckle. But that's kind of something that I do that I think in the workplace people don't like. I think, at least. 631. Oh wait, no, it was 931 because we're on page 4. So let's do that. 931. If you have any scars you want to show, pick one and tell us the story behind how you got it. Okay, I can't show the scar because it would require me to break the magic, which I will not do. But there is a scar that I have on my head, actually, like, I'm trying to see, is there a prop I can use? No, unfortunately not. So there's like a scar like right above my eye, or not above my eye, like on my head. It's like several inches above my eyebrow. And I might have told this story too. That like the banana like gaming chairs. Yeah, I did tell the story. The banana gaming chairs or whatever. I stuck my arms behind that and I was trying to balance it, move too far forward, and I clipped my head on a toy chest, which went down to the skull. I think if I remember the numbers correctly, it was like 13 external and like 12 internal, or it was like 9 internal stitches and 10 external stitches. Regardless, deep cut, deep wound, a lot of stitches and a lot of blood, but that's a scar that I have there. There's a couple other scars that are like on my hands or whatever, and that's just nothing special. It's from automotive work. You're working on something, you know, the tool slips and suddenly you got a cut on yourself. Like, nothing special. What was the last time that you lied to me? What was the lie? So not to the community, but I think in a more like general sense, what was the last time that I lied to someone? Frequently, and it's almost always about the furry community. You don't come out of the door like kicking it in like Captain Falcon, just like, I'm a furry. No. I withhold that a little bit until later on, so it's dodging the question per se when someone asks me like what type of stuff you do. Like I'll say like I do costuming, entertaining, and performing. You know, I have a small YouTube channel I run, but I don't go into the details of just like I'm a furry, I'm staff at a convention, and I dodge a lot of that. And I'm catching up in the chat right now too. Luna saying, you want to make your mom sad? Tell her one day you picked me and set me down and you didn't pick me back up ever again. Oh my god. I actually might have to use that, Luna. Stop trying to hold me to it. You skip, you drink. Hey, if it's a question that I'm not choosing to do on my own volition, not because literally the question does not apply, because this is supposed to be like a dating type of card game. If there's not someone that I could like actually like have that conversation with, there's no point in trying to answer, because it just won't work. Quiet, not fish dog. Never. Oh, that's right. I will say I love your Sona, Zeke. I do love it. I need to catch up with you, Tina, Tyson, and a bunch of other people. We need to hang out at some point when this pandemic stuff is over. Let's do the F9 and move to the next one. Page 8, row 2, column 3. Row 2, column 3. Someone who's never met me asks me what I am like. How do I answer? I'm going to... Okay, so this is actually something that one of my old partners used to describe me, and ever since then I have used it to describe myself to anyone else that I've come across. Pretty much, imagine a brick wall, and every question you ask, I will answer it, but I will give you the specific brick to answer that question. I won't give you any more than what I'm comfortable with giving you. So if you want to get to know me, there's a lot of questions that have to be asked, and you have to start taking that wall down brick by brick by brick. And that is eventually how you get me to open up more and to be myself. But past that, it's like professional, but professional when necessary. Otherwise, you know, bubbly and active. You know, bright personality, bubbly personality for sure. And I communicate with memes. Yay Telegram for that one. Memes and gifts. Yes. Love it. I'm gonna hit this again. We're gonna see what it is. Page 522. Did I do this one already? 522. Yes, we did do this one. And we're gonna do the F9 again. That is 913. page 9, row 1, column 3. What's something you were struggling with that we don't know about? Okay, so actually, one thing I am going to do real fast. I'm going to do this just because it's going to be a lot easier. Hang on one second. My face will be right back. Because I'm probably going to have to take the head off to do this because these are half-gallon bottles and you can only do so much. Actually gives my head a second to cool off a bit. You guys also don't need to hear me suck down fluid. Gatorade slurping noises and such. I'm gonna answer the question. I was thirsty. Okay. Let us get the glove back on and let's get my beautiful face back. Nope. There it is. And I return. So, the question was, what is something you're struggling with that we don't know about? So, to memory, things I am struggling with, I'm not going to go into too many details, and I'll drink again if you guys absolutely want me to. There are some other personal medical issues that I am dealing with, and they're lifelong situation type of stuff. Doesn't stop me from living a normal life, having a job or anything like that, but it's still fairly fresh of the situation. And granted, because I'm not telling you all the details, I will take a drink on this one. If anything, we can count the last one because I don't want to take the camera away and bring it back. But there definitely is something that I'm still struggling with. Prior to the current situation, of that question. Hello, Isaac, I see you there. The other situation I was at, and I brought it up in previous live streams as well. And I think it's important to bring this stuff up, not only because word choice. It's something that I feel should be talked about more often. I think it's something that shouldn't be as stigmatizing as it is or was. But mentioning it before, from those past live streams, the situation being that I previously was struggling with mental illness sort of situations. I'm seeing a professional. I'm on medications. I would say zero issues, but you're still going to have those moments as an individual where, like, you are sad, or you are anxious, but I had it at a severe level. And now that I'm on the medication that has been able to help me out in that regard, it has really helped my outlook in the current situation in my life, and it has severely helped me out. But that was something that I was struggling with, for those that are, my early viewers here back from, I think it's 2 years ago now. Back when I first started this channel and I was on unemployment, I was still struggling with it back then. And now I'm honestly not struggling with it that much at all. So that was definitely something that I had struggled with for years. This goes as far back as when I was in elementary school. That probably puts me at 2001 to 2003 time frame. That's like 4th to 5th grade, somewhere in there. But it was something that I struggled with a long time, and I feel like that should be something that is not as stigmatized and shamed as much as it is. Like, it's something that affects millions of Americans, at least, with me being in the USA. And I think it's something that should be talked about more frequently. But that aside, I see that there's more comments coming in here. Isaac saying and asking, how am I doing today? I'm doing good. Last night I didn't sleep too well. I was rolling around a lot, but this morning got up on time. I went ahead and had some protein pancakes and syrup. It was some good stuff. And then started getting ready for this. I honestly brainstormed this stream today for probably about an hour and a half, because I was sitting there and I'm like, okay, well, I don't have furry mystery box stuff to open up. I'm still trying to figure out and work around a method to like do a giveaway type of a thing. I've been tossing it around with Time Twister, who I collaborate with. Been tossing it around with him, been trying to do some research on it. I do want to do some sort of a giveaway stuff for the furry mystery box content that I've had, but those are a couple things that I'm working with and I've been brainstorming. But I think it was like 30 minutes before the stream, I was like, oh, I have this game on my computer, like this card game or whatever that on my computer. Like, I could totally do that. That will work. So I came up with that like 30 minutes before the stream, and I made it work. Otherwise, in the past, I would love to do, something of like showing you guys like the video editing process. I had done that in the past, but without a lot of furry events going on, I don't have that content to actually do and show you that type of stuff. But other than that, that's pretty much been my day. After this, I think I got one follow-up doctor's appointment, and then it's gonna be chilling, hanging out, playing some games by myself or with a couple of friends, and then at usually 9 p.m. Eastern time, so what would be in about 8 hours from now, I'm going to be, assuming he can respond, I'm going to be playing the final boss of Cuphead, which is the devil. I was that close. I was that close. I was that close to beating him the last time, and it was just randomly, like, we weren't sure. But what the game plan is to beat that game tonight, live. So if you don't have anything going on in about 8 hours from now, come back to the stream. It's not going to be locked or audience locked or age locked or nothing like that. Just come in and watch the stream, watch a struggle bus trying to beat the devil. Oh my god, Luna, you're not going to get me to get Rocket League. I like watching the game. I can't play it to save my life. It doesn't have that draw to me at this point. No. You're not. You're not going to get me to get into that game. Why am I getting out? Rocket League. However, I have been debating, because I know we know each other personally, but I have been debating about buying you Deep Rock Galactic, because I know you were mentioning that you were interested in the game, and I'm tempted to buy you that game so you can have that, and then me and you can play a little bit. Yes, oh Luna, I have this on I have the chat on a low latency, so I should be able to see your guys' responses pretty quick. It's a fun game. I'm trying to remember, like, you liked Halo back in the days, and it's a first-person shooter, so it should be right up your alley. And let's see, I could probably go for about another 15 more minutes for you guys. Let's do an F9 on this game. Page 7, row 2. Nope. This way. 7, row 2. What was that, column 1? Yeah, column 1. How are we wrong for each other romantically? See, this is another example where it's like, I can't properly answer this question because there's no one that, like, in front of me that I'm, like, dating to answer that, but I will go to the second one. What did you get in major trouble for doing as a kid, and did you ever learn your lesson? Okay, so I think it was the last live stream that I did, or the one before that. There's a story of me punching a kid in the spine. That is like the huge TLDR to the story. But what it was is that he threw a tennis ball at me, hit me in the head. I confronted him. He hit me first, and then I spun him around and punched him in the back, which I ended up aiming for his spine. Got in trouble. I got in school suspension. The other kid got out of school suspension. Other major trouble for doing as a kid. And did you ever learn your lesson? Like, I'm trying to think of all the stupid stuff that I've done as a kid. And there wasn't necessarily any, like, hard lesson to any of it. Like, there was times where it's just like, yeah, like, you're grounded for doing this, but it wasn't like a hard lesson per se. So really, there wasn't anything major that I did as a kid that I got in trouble for. At least nothing that's coming to mind. Like, I'm trying to think of like all the stuff I've climbed, like trees and all the garbage like that. I'm like, no, never really gotten like involved with the police ever. Nothing. Like, nothing's. I can't think of anything. Page 522. Did we do this one already? Yeah, worst date I've ever been on. I did that earlier in the stream. Moving on. 521. Yeah, page 5, row 2, column 1. We did this one already as well. 9-2. This doesn't take so the macro doesn't take out number sequences that have already been done already, so really you're just hitting it again and again and again until you're getting new stuff. I will say that is where the physical copy of the game would, making a physical one by printing this would be better. 921. Have you ever caught me in a lie? Did you confront me about it? Why or why not? Again, with an individual in front of me, it's kind of hard to do. I mean, shooting someone else down romantically, hell, I did tell that story earlier in the stream of the worst date I ever been on. That answered both worst date I've ever been on, but also getting shot down, or sorry, shooting someone down. I had to at that point. Go earlier into the stream and you'll hear that story. Come on, give me a new question. I'll happily go to the chat if I'm not getting anything decent out of this. What's something you miss about your last serious ex? She was very accepting of me. She didn't know much about the furry fandom at the time, and after showing her what the fandom was like, inviting her to a convention, actually Motor City FurCon, and her kind of like being my spotter at the event, and her being able to actually see all the different suits and everything like that, that really was something that she like kind of like saw and connected with, and then started to get involved with herself. And I want to go ahead and answer this last one. Do you think you were happier or sadder than the average person? I want to say I'm not like overly happy now. I want to say like I'm like if this is like average of like where you should like where most people are at, I'd probably say like as of right now I'm like a smidge higher. Not by a whole ton, but I'd say I'm probably on average happier than the normal human being. I would think so, at least. Let's go 412. And I'm also keeping an eye on the chat too to see if there's anything. I'm not seeing anything pop on Twitter or Curious Cat. Four, two, one. Oh wait, no, that's page 3. 4, 2, 1. No, I did. No, 4, 1, 2. 1, 2. Oh my god, if I can number correctly. Have you ever stolen anything? What and why? Do you still have it? I was 5 years old. Yes. It was absolutely insignificant. And no. And the why is I thought it was pretty. It was a marble out of like a lawn ornament thing. They had like a green like accent marble in the thing, and I took that. That is all it was. Ever since then, never did it, because the second I did it, it was one of those things that's like I did it, and as a kid I was just like, oh, this is cool, and I kind of like walked around with it. And then as I left the store, I noticed that it was in my pocket, and I panicked. I freaked out, told mom and dad about it. They brought me back into the store, and they just went to the supervisor. They're like, listen, this happened or whatever, and obviously like I was like off the hook or whatever, but it was like a 5-year-old that pretty much just did like the shiny thing. That was it. And they're like, it's not, there's nothing to pursue here. There's nothing. So like, screw it. They're like, thank you for returning it, don't do it again, and like nothing's ever happened since then. At Isaac in the chat is asking me, have I ever been to the Great Wolf Lodge? no. I actually remember seeing those commercials a lot as a kid in my home state, but I've never been to one. I don't know why, but like going out to like theme parks or like lodges or like relaxation places like that, like they're cool, but it's nothing in my head that I sit there and go like, yes, like I want to do this or whatever. Like the closest thing that I've ever done of that capacity, there's, I can't think of it off the top of my head. There's a theme park in Ohio, I think. It's Ohio, Indiana. Like roller coasters, that type of stuff. I went out there in 2016, 17. That was fun with a bunch of friends. And then I went camping out with them in the southern part of Ohio for a weekend. That was also fun. And then back in my home state, I went to Six Flags Great America with the family a lot. But other than that, like going out to those types of like events or like hotels or lodges, like isn't something that I do a whole ton. Why? Nowadays I know why. It's monetary. It's money. It's the fact that, you know, trying to manage the bills and all that stuff. And then other than that, like I'd love to coordinate that stuff with a close group of friends and have fun. But otherwise, no, I've never been to Great Wolf Lodge. There's been very minimal instances where I've done that. Let's see, I've got another 10 minutes here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop with the game up here. Let me go ahead and swap over to just this. And hello, it is me in the bigger screen. Gotta fix that first. So, in the last like 5 to 10 minutes here, I want to go ahead and take this as an opportunity to chat with you guys. If you guys have any questions that you guys can ask that. Otherwise, like me kind of like wrapping this up. Next Friday, I will do this again. I'll try to figure out like how I can narrow this down further, or otherwise just like hand pick of just like this one was done. We'll like toss that one out the window. That one was done. We'll toss that one out the window. So that, you know, newer questions can be asked. Hi, Ticket. I see you in there. Been a long time since I've seen you in here, if memory serves correctly. But I want to try to cycle out some of those cards so that I can have more content for you. But I think this was a lot of fun. Definitely for myself, because it's definitely going back into some of the old stories that I've had before, and experiences that I could share out with you guys. But I'd definitely love to do this. Ticket, I mean, kind of. No, with how late in the stream that you are. The stream itself was only an hour, so this honestly is something like you can like listen to in the background, like making food or something like that. Honestly, it's something really easy for you to like rewatch. I can't do this the whole time because I do have a doctor follow-up that I need to do. But I will be on later tonight at 9 p.m. Should be on around that time. I still need to converse with Time Twister to make sure when exactly we're going to be doing it, but we should be trying to complete Cuphead tonight and have that. But the stream itself is only like a little over an hour long, so you can actually rewatch this without an issue. Isaac asking, how can I make a furry? Honestly, in my experience and my input on this is, I feel like one of the initial assumptions, I guess, for newer furries is who Luna's asking me because I'm in a server with her, why you know in Discord so I can berate you after the stream. And Luna's very much correct. Very carefully, you don't want to completely copy a Sona. Absolutely not. You'll get so much backlash for that. The other thing, as well, is there's really no limits in terms of species or coloring. There's angel dragons, which is a completely fictional creature. There's Sergels, Sergels, if I'm getting that right. Sergels are a completely mythical creature, and protogens are completely mythical. But honestly, something that you could do is you could probably just do a Google search and just do furries or fursonas, and that should be a good starting point for seeing different species and finding one that either you like or you feel like you connect with. as like a mental or emotional level. Like there's so many different ways that you can go about it. And then just start experimenting with different colorations. Okay, so it's SERGAL. Someone corrected me in the chat. But mess with the different colorations and patterns and find something that you feel represents you as an individual. For what it's worth, for Sigma, I knew that I more identified closer to a wolf, given my background and my upbringing, you know, and like all the different like traumas that I went through when I was younger. And taking that as kind of like the first like seed of like developing Sigma, that was a big step for me. And then I knew in terms of designs, just in my experiences of like seeing like art and different like street art and stuff like that, I always liked the tribal type of aesthetic and look. So I went ahead and I kind of extrapolated on that, and like I didn't want to be so complex that I couldn't make a suit out of it. And you know, so I simplified it a little bit, and then I got to the Sigma that you guys all know, where I have the little bit of the chest piece thing going there, like all like the angular type of like I can't think of another word to describe other than like the tails of, you know, like the swooshes or whatever. And I kind of extrapolated on that, and even the back of the head. Like I'm trying to also keep an eye on the camera that's over here, but you can kind of see like these just general swooshes like that. And then obviously the one like the triangle looks in the back of the head. Like all that stuff was influenced in designing Sigma. And then I've got the triangle looking designs on the arms itself. Like it's all got like that like angular like swoosh type of thing that you usually see in tribal sort of art. And usually you can actually find like free line art like templates online just by Google searching it, and a good chunk of those you can actually just print them off and just start coloring them in, start experimenting, you know, see about designs that you personally like, and that you feel represent you. Or say if you don't want it to represent you, you want to like have like a separate character, you know, you can do that too. There's multiple people that have, you know, like multiple personas, you know, and maybe they might have multiple suits and they're embodying different personalities when in those suits. So hopefully that answers your question of, you know, like how can I make a furry. It's otherwise mostly like kind of open-ended, but you definitely don't want to just like straight copy a character. That is the quickest way to get a lot of backlash in the community. And there's probably a couple other things that I'm missing and things that like you don't want to do, but you don't have to like commission an artist like to make a persona. Like you can easily just like experiment and try different colorations and designs. That's honestly how I got to Sigma. But with that, looking at the stream, I am about an hour and 15 minutes in here. With that said, I do have to unfortunately call this an end to the stream. If you just got in here, I know Ticket had just recently came in, good pal of mine. If you were coming into the stream late, you can go ahead and rewatch it. YouTube will usually like take down the video, they'll process it, and then they'll put it up on my channel. So when that's done, this will be up on my channel itself, and you should then be able to just rewatch it from there. It's only an hour, it's not like 8 hours or something like that, like one of my old Cuphead videos, because me and Time were adamant about getting through Inkwell Isle Part 2. But I'm gonna have to call this one here. If you guys have further questions or you're seeing this video in post, go ahead and ask me the question in the Curious Cat link down below. That is the easiest way to do it. I'll see it in future videos, and I'll actually answer those questions then when the next Fursuit Friday video comes out. So that's a great way for you to see what those comments are, for you to get your comments and questions into me, and then I can answer them. But if you like this, you want to see more of it, I mean, please go ahead and leave a comment below so I know you like this stuff, or like the video itself and share it with other individuals so that they can, during all of this pandemic stuff, if they want to see and kind of have like a conversation with another furry, or if they're newer and they want to get some insight, please go ahead and share it and let them know. I'd be happy to you know, share my stories and help them on their journey if they want to, or at least give insight to it, so that, you know, they can find out for themselves where do they fit into the picture. But guys, unfortunately, I do have to go. I will see you guys, if you will be on with me, 9 p.m. So in 8 hours, I'm going to be doing Cuphead, the final boss with the devil, with Time Twister, assuming things don't fall through. And then other than that, I will see you guys all next week for Fursuit Friday, where I'd actually am hoping to either do this again, or I'll hopefully have figured something out for the giveaway stuff that I want to do. So I'll try to give you guys advance notice so you can share it and let your friends know to possibly get some free stuff. So, bye everyone. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Thank you so much for joining me. And, again, love you guys. Stay awesome. Bye. And now just to figure out as an adult how to take this stuff down. Oh, the glories of figuring out how to do this solo and not having a crew. Officially bye.